Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Oh my goodness. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Stage 5 bullish. Let's go. Let's go. Hey guys, can you guys start tweeting out the room? Tweeting out the room. Getting us some folks in here. December's on the scene, and we need to make sure we got a full house, guys. Let's get it. Uh, Wow, we got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna hold too much longer, but I'm gonna pull you up, December. So everybody, here's December Demarco. Hello. There you go. Uh-oh. Did you want to put that up there yet? I just jumped the gun. Can you hear me? Oh, you can't hear me, December.
Oh, my bad. I muted my mic. I'm not sure if that was me picking up the feedback, but yeah, not just yet. We could pull that up in just 1 second. I muted my mic. I'm not sure if that was me picking up the feedback.
Do you got a video going on?
Yeah, not just yet. We could pull that up in
I hear like we're double talking.
Okay.
Do you got a video going on?
Yeah. Just the software of what we're using.
We're double talking.
Okay. Just the software of what we're using. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me try to get that off.
Okay.
Okay, I think we should be a little bit better there.
I think so.
Okay, yeah, I think I had it playing in the background.
Okay, cool.
But what's good, future millionaires? We back with another banger. I'm December Demarco, Fortune 500 marketer, here to share my insights of the market with y'all to hopefully help y'all become better informed investors. Salute to y'all for pulling up on the channel. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up like button. Make sure y'all do it on her channel, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Let's get into this. So first off, thank you for having me again. Appreciate that. Shout out to all the ladies that's in the building as well, all the fellas that will be pulling up on us. Also, we got a voltage stream here. This is my first time, in Ladybug's Lounge, so we gotta do it right.
Let's go. That's my thing. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. I want to ask you how long you been in crypto?
So I dabbled, and my best friend told me about Bitcoin first in about 2009. And that was like my first opportunity to brush into it. That's when I became aware of it. I first bought my first Bitcoins in 2012. Wasn't looking at it, so much as a long-term investment, just trying to, kind of buy low, sell high type of thing, in a short period of time. Didn't really know what I was doing. But as the years progressed, I want to say around 2015, 2016, I started to educate myself and get more serious about it and, try to learn technical analysis just to get a better foundation. And that's when, things kind of start getting serious from there.
So how, when you say serious, like I said, when you start making real money, or serious as in like,
yes, really? That was the beginning to, as far as what I made in crypto. That's when I started to understand, okay, the bear market, looking at different coins, understanding outside of just Bitcoin and, basically Ethereum, basically.
Okay. So what made you want to do classes, teach people?
Well, I learned from reading. That's where I, got the majority of my information. So through my process of learning, a lot of the things I found out were more simple if someone just explained it in a different way, especially for someone like me that, is not, that no one really taught this to, and some of the complex at first. I mean, some of the systems and things that you learn could seem complex at first, but I was able to be like, this really isn't that hard. If somebody just explained it like this, instead of like making it seem super complex like this, then I think a lot more people will be able to understand it. So I started to document my journey, showing people, what I was doing. Then that had more people gravitate towards me. People start, seeing some of my gains, start wanting to, what is this about? Or how can I get involved? And I had so many people asking me the same questions, because at first I had a Facebook group, which I still got my Facebook group, private stock market game. We got over 6,000 active investors in there, but I started posting, my journey in there, showing different people, the plays that I was making, the things that I was looking at, the reasons why I was looking at things. And people kept asking me, hey, can you show me how to do this? Or, hey, how do I do this? So instead of continuously showing everyone one by one, I decided to start putting it in video format. And that's where, YouTube came in.
Cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm still here. I was having technical difficulties, so I come back. But wow. I have been watching your channel for a few. I've only been in crypto for like about 3 years. So I've been watching your channel for about 2. And I just really like how you break everything down. And so yeah, I like it. So what about the exciting news today?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. That's what I'm really most excited to get into. We got stage 5 of the roadmap, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we on the same page. But yeah, I'm looking at that right now. For those that don't know, Batoshi just dropped this on us not too long ago, saying the stage 5 of our roadmap is here. A lot to vote, probably more than everything we achieved so far. We can't wait to get it started with you, especially with some steps being days away. So matter of fact, we can I share my screen on this?
You ready?
Give me 1 second. That's no, it's fine. It's nothing on there. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm on the right tab. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's try that.
Okay, and go.
Okay, so here you can see here's stage 5. So let's break these different checkpoints off. We got first the VDSC reward. So we've been hearing about this for a while. Holders of VDSC NFTs will be receiving some form of passive residual, not sure exactly what term to label on it, but we will be receiving some type of dividend for holding those Voltage Dragon Sailor Club NFTs. So that's very exciting. That's one thing I was really bullish on, especially holding several VDSC NFTs. And then we got the bridge on VoltiChange coming, another exciting feature, just making crypto more accessible through different assets. Then we got VoltiChange gamification. That's interesting. That sounds like more ways to make money with the community, outside of just looking at the price action. It's possibly community challenges and things like that. Then we got the global staking platform. Very interesting. Being able to get some returns on that vote that you don't plan on selling right now anyway, but you want to be able to make some money in the meantime. That's what that staking platform helps out with. And then we got Voltisoft, powered by Voltisoft. Some I believe it's more of like a software technology that's coming that will be sort of the backbone of the Volt Inu ecosystem. That's just my opinion on it so far. And we got Volti Eco, and then we got branded physical cards. So that's interesting. Didn't know about that. So we can expect some type of maybe a TCG trading card game. Interesting. Maybe even our VDSC NFTs becoming, collectible cards. We got Volti Shop. That's interesting. So that sounds like, basically being able to use our decentralized exchange in a way to possibly, shop for different things. So that sounds kind of exciting. More like a sort of like a crypto, maybe eBay or something like that. 3 top 10 centralized exchanges. So that's another major goal on this checklist, is to reach 3 top 10 centralized exchanges. So that's very bullish. Think about where we are right now, and as we move closer to that goal of completing all 3 of those, where the price will be at that time. So that's bullish right there. Then we got VDSC Battle Royale game, VDSC in-game marketplace, 1 million burn at all-time high. We got the Volt library, and then we get 100 VoltiChange widget additions. That's interesting. 250K holders, and then 250,000 Twitter followers. So this is our next stage. So basically, it's looking like a 4 to 5x from where we are right now, you know, to basically reach that holder count. So that's interesting. What do you think about that, Ladybug?
You added something to it. You added something to it with that card collector thing. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's pretty dope. Uh, I I just want to know what the rewards are.
Okay, a lot of people are, you know, bullish on those NFTs, so I've been waiting for that for a while. But definitely, I think that's one of the ones I'm most excited for too. And I will also probably have to say those 3 top 10 centralized exchanges. That's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
very big.
bullish.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very big. You know, think about all the access to new holders or people that, you know, because when it comes to crypto, it takes people some time to get into actual DeFi. You know, some people may learn through those centralized exchanges, you know, a Robinhood, a Webull, you know, one of the, you know, more user-friendly applications to, you know, get started on. Some people start there, and, you know, it takes them a while before they actually figure out, you know, the benefits of DeFi. So reaching those 3 top 10 centralized exchanges is going to be very, very bullish, because that's going to help, you know, a lot of people who are already in the space but just don't understand the full you know, space. Is going to allow them a chance to get in with us as well, because most people are more comfortable using those, you know, bigger centralized exchanges. So that's super bullish right there. And then, you know, of course, that $1 million burn at all-time high, that's going to send it paravoltic, if you ask me. A lot of things. I see the Vault library, very interesting. You know, maybe it could, you know, that sounds like it could be a place for, you know, investors to get educated, you know, or learn the history of Vault, you know, just follow along all the developments that possibly have been made, you know, along the journey with Vault.
You know what I'm looking at? Okay, so for bridges, when you say bridges for any token, right? You're just bridging any token to the platform. Is that what that means?
Yes, that's what I assume it means. So, or a certain chain. So it can be, you know, whatever the next chain is that they decide, you know, whether it be, you know, Avalanche or, you know, any other, you know, token for that matter. They can use that chain to be able to use it as a bridge itself. So people will be able to take coins that are on that network, that blockchain, and trade them seamlessly through, you know, ERC20, BEP20 tokens, and whatever other bridges they add.
Okay. Now, when I look at what he just dropped, and then listening to the AMA and him saying there wasn't enough room for everything he wanted to add.
Sheesh. Just think of that. And this is already, you know, a ton of, you know, bullish, you know, updates right here. You know, one thing I like to see in the roadmap is, you know, specific and real. Well, 2 things: specific and realistic goals. Now, also, I like them to be measurable, you know, so that way we can, you know, specific, realistic, and measurable. That way we can, you know, really determine are these goals likely to happen, or are these things like kind of, you know, far-fetched, or are they realistic? And that can kind of give us more confidence as well, by knowing like, okay, we got realistic updates that are in the next stage of the roadmap. You know, this is going to be bullish, you know, that's going to be bullish. People may be excited about this, and we can use all that information to, you know, increase our confidence. And that's what just helps you, you know, be able to have that diamond hands when it comes time, or to even take advantage of the dip when the price is down, because you truly understand what you're investing in. So that way, when the price does retrace, you see that as opportunity versus, you know, a loss. But yeah, it's a lot of things here.
I know. So I love NFTs. I don't know. What is your thoughts on NFTs?
I like NFTs as well. I like the utility that you can get. You know, I like NFTs more for utility and, you know, the potential to be able to make some money on it. Some people like them simply for, you know, the artwork factor. Now, don't get me wrong, if it's something I truly like just off the artwork factor, then that's cool. But I'm looking at, you know, how is this NFT changing the game? You know, what different is this project doing from other projects? You know, how can I benefit from this project, you know, or from holding it, or even, you know, telling people about this project? So that's kind of how I look at it with NFTs. You know, I'm not you know, just sitting there waiting to get whitelisted for every single project or something like that. So, you know, the ones that I want, though, you know, I'll dabble with them.
You ain't waiting in line, huh?
But us as influencers as well, we get like a lot of projects, newer projects that want to reach out and send us different projects to check them out, and give our feedback on the projects, and things like that. So I got a nice little collection.
That's nice. Let's see. Hold on, ladies. If you want to come up to the chat, I will let y'all come up. Right now, we're gonna bring Kira up on the scene. This is our security one of our security experts. So,
Okay.
Kira, girl,
Hey, Kira.
you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, I'm muted. I was saying, can you hear me all right? But I guess not. How are we doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Super
I'm
volted.
good.
Yeah. I have a few questions, but tying back into Volt here in the roadmap, I guess my question is, how did you discover Volt? Like, how did you get into it, and what's kept you here?
First, during the time of early Doge, early Sheeb, I helped a few people that were, following my journey, make some money during that time. So some people that, started rocking with me got, tied into the space a little more serious about it as well, where they hear certain projects and they'll bring them right across my desk. They'll say, because, we were looking for projects like Volt Inu at that time, especially. So I'm not sure if it was exactly one of my students or just one of my followers that's, a part of my community, was like, hey, you got to check this out. A couple people brought it to me in the comments. I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it. And then that's when I decided to just go check it out. And after checking it out, seeing, tapping in, seeing the community, seeing the excitement about it, it was like, it just gave me that vibe of one of those projects that could, do what Volt is doing. So.
Awesome. And I know why I stick around and most of the holders, but like, continued, growth and whatnot. But like, what's like the one thing that gets you most excited about Volt now?
I think people don't even realize how early we are with Volt still. How much of this is still the beginning. With all that we accomplished, and all the things that Volt is working on already, this is still the beginning. This is like really just Volt Inu building a solid foundation. So I can recognize that and understand it, been around the block a few times in the space. I can understand once these things align again, Volt is, pretty much lined up to be one of the top dogs and that coming out of that meme coin space once things start to, turn around. Because it's constantly building right now. And that's one of the things I love about it. And, I'm so bullish on it because it's hard for projects when, the overall market is down, 70%, the top projects, we even got the stock market down, Tesla down 75%, when everything is being beat up like this, technically we are in a recession. So, investors are, tighter with money, people are speculating less. So to see a project, knowing what environment we're in, but the project continues to, lay each, brick for it and just keep building and keep building, That's something you just can't ignore because other projects can't keep up with that. They basically fizzle out or they get exhausted. They get bored before then. Volt understands too. One thing that I truly appreciate is that that meme aspect. The fact that memes are a currency in this space, being able to keep the investors, having something to talk about, something to laugh about, something to share, something to, just keep people's spirits up, even though the markets may be down. That's how, the spirit of the meme coin space really started.
Yeah. And I was saying, like, if you see a lot of meme coins probably run across your desk, right? I mean, they're getting more serious in the space too.
Oh
yeah. So I would think based off of what you're seeing, like something like this, while it's a meme coin, it can go places. It's going to go places, even though it's a meme coin. And meme coins get a bad rap. So,
but I feel it's the ones like Shiba Inu, Volt, those that are going to change. There's a lot of other ones that we made money on, but sometimes I don't look at projects as a long-term investment. Volt, I'm actually looking at it as, a multi-year investment because of things like we see in the roadmap, because of the community. That's something you just you can't buy that. This community, you can't buy this. This is one of the strongest communities that I've seen in the space. We're always trending, amongst top, keywords as well, in the space. So it's like, Volt is serious.
Yeah, we are. I got one more question, Ladybug, before if you want to bring someone else up, but not specific to Volt, but I guess, you know, for with all of your learning and whatnot with like what would you recommend to a novice first coming out, right? Obviously watch your videos and follow you and but like where do you start with learning like charts and like TA and whatnot?
Okay, so one, I definitely recommend two books. So Candlesticks Demystified is a book that I really like, and then Technical Analysis for Dummies. Those two books paired, you know, hey, it's just that it works, you know. those two books paired to learn the basis of, you know, understanding support and resistance zones and how to pair that with the, you know, first basic layer of indicators, and you start to learn which indicators you're more comfortable using, and then you can kind of, you know, go from there. So I think, you know, first probably start off with the book, you know, a couple books. Also, you know, understanding support resistance areas, understanding you know, how to use your Bollinger Bands, how to use your RSI, relative strength index, you know, understanding, you know, how to use moving average convergence divergence, or MACD for short, you know, learning what these different indicators mean, and then understanding how to pair them together for confirmations. That's really like the first step. So just to educate yourself, you know, figure out a few indicators that you like to use, start to dabble with them by, you know, pairing them together so you can see how they, you know, kind of work in tandem, and then you can just go from there.
Awesome. Definitely check those out. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm you know, I'm going to have to replay that. Candlestick.
You know, right?
Candlesticks Demystified. I wonder if I got the book across.
Okay, so we have Miss Space Chick coming to the scene. Come on, girl.
What's up?
Hey, let me take it out. Hold on.
Space Chick.
How are you? What's up, December? What's up, Kira? What's up, Ladybug? Miss
What's
April?
going on? Well, I'm gonna pull this down just for a second so we can kind of, and then when you're ready to go over the charts, so we'll put it back up.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Just for a second. Okay. All right. Cool. So y'all can get a little bit more personable. What's up, girl? I see you now.
Yep, I'm excited. I mean, December Demarco, he's a genius at TA. My goodness.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And he has a book out. He has his own book out. So.
Oh.
Yeah,
promote it. What is it?
It's in
Tell us.
It's in a link in the description section of all my videos, so you can just open up that description section. You'll see it on Amazon right there.
Do you have any questions, Space Chick?
What are you most excited about with this stage 5 of the roadmap, Space Chick?
So whenever I just found out about it, like not even just a little bit ago. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Pablo's live. Everybody's everywhere. It's crazy. So Vaulty changed gamification. So GameFi. That's GameFi, right? Vaulty changed gamification. GameFi is big. That play to earn. So that's what I'm interested about, because I know a lot of people that are getting into that play to earn gaming with their playable characters of the NFTs they have. So I was wondering what you thought that might entail, maybe.
I'm very bullish on, you know, the GameFi space. You know, I'm not really a big gamer myself, but the value that, you know, these two have when they combine with each other is just ridiculous. Like we have similar games, like, well, not similar, but play to earn games like Axie Infinity. We had people in, you know, countries that were literally doing that as a job, you know, playing the game. And, you know, because if you think about it, you know, some places in the world, the amount of money you earn, you know, through DeFi can be, you know, a lot to some, and, you know, maybe just basic to some. But we had people who were replacing their regular 9-to-5 jobs that they would, you know, possibly make. And I'm not sure if the countries like Philippines or something like that, but they were able to basically make more money playing these play to earn games than they would by working a traditional job in their country. So we're really entering like an interesting space with that. And just, you know, imagine if we build something like that where we got, you know, that amount of people turning to vote as, you know, actual, you know, not just a, you know, game, but they're looking at it as something more serious, you know, to bring money home. So it's like,
I like that. I mean, I think I might take a break and go check out that Multi-Change GameFi. You said people making a job out of it.
Oh yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm not sure if what they
No,
rolled
but
out
that
so
would
far
be
with the game
cool.
fight. Yeah, but that would
Yeah.
definitely be cool for sure.
Because there were three things on that we're talking about gaming, right? There was the gamification, and then the two VDSC ones, right? The lower down that were also around.
Yep, there's the
Battle Royale.
Yep, the Battle Royale.
So there's three game aspects too.
Yeah, that sounds more like Fortnite type of style, you know, to have a Battle Royale, 3D characters running around the map, you know, fighting, battling each other out, last man standing type of, situation, or last woman standing,
Look, he's like, I'm on ladies' night. I think that would be good for us to go in there if we have to duke it out sometimes, y'all. We'll just go in there.
Be able to earn a little coins on the side as well. That's pretty cool.
Right? Yeah.
Each of our dragons has different traits and skills we could hit each other with. That'd be fun.
The diamond one, I think, is Pablo gave that away one night on his stream. I think he said that. If you have a diamond one, you're indestructible. So I want a diamond one. I think that's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Something.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we got another lady coming on the scene. It's Miss Sandy Crypto.
Sandy.
Hi.
Sandy.
Hey y'all. Hey. Hey, how y'all doing?
There you go.
I can't even say y'all. I just wanted to say hello, December. And look, I'm over here stranded at the airport. Crazy day. But look, I just want to say I see what you're doing out there with the kids, giving back to the community. I love that. Would love to hear more about it. But just in case I have to get off, I will still be listening. So, but hearts out, because I'm all about giving back to the kids, and giving back to the community. So I see what you're doing out there, and I love it.
Definitely, I know they appreciate you for pulling up. So I just want to let you know, I definitely do. This won't be the last one either. I'm gonna have to pull up and pop up on y'all sometime.
Hey. I'll be excited for y'all. How about that?
Pull up the chart now if y'all want to.
Yeah, that's how I was going to say.
Yeah.
Everybody's like a robot to me. I think I'm gonna have to get off.
Yeah, I seen you, but I want to ask. Where you at?
Have a safe flight.
Huh?
Have fun.
Safe travels.
It's at the airport.
There we go. All right. Sorry, Sandy, can't see you. Look, let me take the link down.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Okay, there you go. But what I wanted to ask when you're doing these charts, right? And I know you're going to break it down. So, and you probably tell me, but I'm still going to ask anyway. With the market being the way that it is, and what do you think about right now? Do you think this is the start of a bull run? What's your thoughts on that?
We are in interesting times. I'm hopeful, just like everybody else, but at the same time, we got to take other information into account, like taking a step back, looking at from a macroeconomic standpoint. The markets are still beat up. We just went through this SBF FTX situation. Right before that, we got the Terra Luna Do Kwon situation, and both of those, if we wanted to say scams, basically, really gave the crypto space a black eye. So I think there's gonna be a little slow period until maybe, if none of that would have happened, this time could have possibly been that, to me, where I felt a little more bullish, like maybe this could have completely been the bottom, and things are looking up right now. But I know that there's probably still a little more, ugliness that we have to absorb from, what they messed up, because think about it, there's a lot of institutional buyers who it took them years to even get on the edge where they were, comfortable or thinking about possibly investing into crypto. And then we got these two guys do this. So that takes a lot of the, institutional money, and they step back after that. They say, granted, there are still some, I'll just say secret institutional money that's being invested, but on a public scale, these investors will step back because it's going to look bad to, you know, their traditional investors that, you know, they're speculating this hard in a space where we got individuals running off with like 10 to 16 billion dollars of people's funds. So, you know, I think because of that, we might be in a little rut for a little longer, and also knowing that we are technically in a recession. I'm just more of waiting for, you know, the Fed to kind of turn around and start basically pumping more money back into the markets. And, you know, that's when we generally see, that's my sign that I'm looking for. Once I kind of see, like, we just for a second go back to when the pandemic took place, you know, we seen Bitcoin pulling back, we seen everything, Ethereum pulling back, and the prices didn't kind of stabilize or bottom out until we start to really see the governments ramp up spending and how much money they were, you know, pumping it back into the economy. And that's what kind of helps, you know, the market move. Because you got to remember, if one person buys and there's nobody to buy after that person, the price can't move. You know, Warren Buffett said these markets are a device to transfer money from the hands of the impatient to the patient. So there has to always be somebody that's willing to buy in order to, you know, keep this going. So with me knowing that and knowing how the market is right now, I'm not panicking about it. I'm comfortable. It's just, I've seen this before. So pretty soon there's going to come a time where either Bitcoin or to me, it looks like meme coins may lead that rally again. We're going to see some coins come on the scene, have some ridiculous gains. That's gonna inspire investors, get them amped up, you know, get people, you know, because the same way the prices can't go up forever, they have to eventually come back down and retrace. It's the same thing the opposite way. Prices just can't go down forever. Eventually it has to turn around and start to go back up. Investors will get exhausted. They'll get bored of even the prices just remaining at a low point. So eventually they'll start to buy in. And as people see, okay, the buyers are stepping back into the market, that'll push the price even further. So I'm just waiting patiently, recognizing what's happening, using it as a time for accumulation, you know, still educating myself, and, you know, I'm not being too, you know, just rash about anything. You know, I'm giving things time to play out. You know, just not panicking and understanding what I invested in helps me be able to do that. So I'm just kind of chilling right now, just waiting on that time where we wake up, we see volume on all the markets is ridiculous. We're sitting back at a, you know, close to $2 trillion market cap out of nowhere. And, you know, things are, you know, looking like it wants to go back to that all-time high in the space.
Is that
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, would you give the advice you give to investors is patience, like the number one, education and patience, do you think, at this point? Because I feel like a lot of people don't have patience, right?
First one I like to say is don't risk more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
Because that way it's hard to be patient when you put your, you know, your emergency money or, you know, your bill money into the markets and you were hoping on a quick 2x, 3x, whatever, and actually you're down 40%. You know, so I say just don't put in more than you're willing to lose. You know, dollar cost average into positions. Don't just try to hit a home run overnight. And then that's where the patience sets in after that point, because now you got an amount that if it pulls back, it doesn't affect you emotionally, because once your emotions get attached to it, it's going to be hard to stay, you know, kind of, you know, wise about your decision. It's something called plan your trade and trade your plan. So, you know, you want to think about your investment, your timeline and all that before you go into the investment. What is your ideal, you know, take profit, you know, what are you looking to, you know, how the time period you're looking to hold, you know, you want to have all those things already laid out. Now, of course, this can change as time goes, but starting off, you want to have an initial idea. So that way, even when the price pulls back, you can just pull up your trading plan and say, oh, I told myself, you know, we got this amount, we didn't put in more than we're willing to lose. But now, since we didn't risk more than we're willing to lose, we actually got some more dry capital that we can use to deploy and buy this dip some more now, because instead of me trying to jump in and put in 5K right off the bat, you know, I probably put in, you know, 300, 500, you know, or whatever that amount is, just to slowly, you know, build up my position. That way, if I put in 500 and it pulls back, you know, 20%, I'm down to, you know, what, 400. But now I got, you know, instead of me putting that entire 5K in at once, now I can continue to buy the dip and bring my average cost down. And that's what I recommend. So dollar cost averaging, not risking more than you're willing to lose, and being patient and doing your due diligence as well. Because it's easier to have that patience when you have confidence. If you're like I'm confident in Volt, so the short term, reactions in the market doesn't bother me because I wasn't looking to sell just right now anyway. So it's like it just the price pulling back, right now, that's just an opportunity for me if I wanted to add to my position versus me looking at it as like all my bags are down,
You need to come into the VC. That's exactly what we try to tell people in the community. That's awesome. Thank you.
Sandy said, what are the key indicators that you look for?
Okay, we can break that down right here where we got the chart up. So these are three of my, favorite indicators to use. I can kind of, eyeball some of this stuff. Like as you get familiar with it, even without these indicators on, you can kind of identify from high points and low points or supports, how these indicators will, you can kind of determine what these indicators would say to us. But right here, three of my favorite ones that I really like to start off with, and it's different for some, but I found Bollinger Bands, RSI, and the MACD. Those are three of my favorite to use, like on a quick, especially if I'm day trading. I like to, on a smaller time frame, I like to use these ones because they pair together using these. One indicator is just telling you what is likely to happen. It does not mean it's 1,000% guaranteed. It doesn't mean go bet the house on this because you see this indicator lining up like this. It's just saying that when this indicator is telling you this, that means this is likely to happen. And then when we take, that possibility and we look at another indicator and determine what that indicator is telling us, then we pair those together and we look for, either similarities, like are these indicators saying the same thing to us? Or, are we getting confirmation from, one indicator complementing the other right now, which shows us, it could be a good time to buy, sell, whatever. And these are like generally, these are some of the ones that I would say most traders use, but there will probably be one of these switched out. So if you, depending on who you ask, you'll hear these three main ones, but they might like a different indicator over one of these indicators that I'm using. But I like these three, starting off the Bollinger Bands. So these basically help you understand a channel that the price will remain through. So if we're looking at this, like this upper blue line here, this is called the upper Bollinger Band. This middle red line here, this is the mid Bollinger Band. And then we got the lower band here, which is the lower Bollinger Band. Now, 90 to 95% of the time, the candlesticks or the price action wants to remain inside of this channel. So if we go back, you can notice the price stays inside of this upper line and this lower line here. Now, it can go outside, of this line, like times like this, but that's when we start to see, like, if you take a look at this candle, selling pressure, because we know that once the price breaks outside of these bands, it wants to get back within them. So yes, it might break out for a brief period, but we know eventually, unless it just goes parabolic and then, it will readjust itself, it'll reanalyze the direction or the trajectory. But we know 90 to 95% of the time, the price wants to stay within this level. So if I'm looking at my Bollinger Band, I'm using this as an indicator, let's say in this area here, where the price began to, let me zoom in a little bit here. So where you can see we're within these Bollinger Bands, we got the green candles going up right here, and they stay within the Bollinger Bands. They break out a little bit here, but as soon as it breaks out, sellers push it right back into the Bollinger Bands. Trades up some more. We get to a point where it breaks outside of these Bollinger Bands, and every time it pretty much does that, we see selling pressure. The day traders or the people who understand selling to take profit in the short term, this is an indicator that they're using. They're saying, okay, the price broke outside of the upper Bollinger Band. We know this is a high point that we'll be able to sell for here, because we know pretty soon the price will be pushed back within in this channel here. Hopefully that makes a little sense. But also we know that the upper band can be used as a resistance area. So just like I talked about knowing support and resistance areas, that upper Bollinger Band is used as a resistance. The price has a hard time breaking outside of there. It can break outside of there, but it's just, it's hard to. It'll take a lot of confidence, a lot of bullish momentum to break outside of that. And then we know on the downside, the bottom, the lower Bollinger Band can be used as a support. So we know once the price starts to touch this lower Bollinger Band, that can be used as a buying indicator. Some short-term traders will look at this as, okay, once the price taps this lower Bollinger Band, that can be a signal for me to go long, or to to buy with the expectation of the price going up. And the upper Bollinger Band, when you purchase along this upper Bollinger Band, that means you're that means the asset is a little more expensive for the time being. That means you're paying a little a more premium price for the asset than if you were to kind of wait and get a purchase along the lower Bollinger Band. Now, the lower Bollinger Band could move up to the point where where candles are, where at one point this was the upper Bollinger Band, but it's just for that present time. It's saying, like, at this moment, like if we were to buy in this time right now, we're buying closer to the lower Bollinger Band. So as we buy closer to this lower Bollinger Band, that's telling us we're getting a fairly good price, or a cheap price, for what this asset could be for the meantime. Now, also, we know that, so now we know the upper Bollinger Band could be used as a resistance point or a resistance line, and the lower one could be used as support. We got this middle band here. The middle one can act as both. So if the price is trading from the downside upwards, this middle band can be used as a resistance point. So meaning, as it gets close to this middle band, investors can start to sell off their position, or as the price breaks under this middle Bollinger Band, like we've seen here, we've seen it pop up, break above. It tried to hold support here, but it couldn't hold support. It broke this middle Bollinger Band here. This is right where we've seen it take place, which likely told short-term traders who were day trading, or maybe short trading from short-term trading, this let them know that it was likely, because if it broke the support on the mid Bollinger Band, so our next support level is the lower Bollinger Band. So if it violated this mid Bollinger Band, it did not hold it, it didn't respect it. So now we know we have to go test our next area of support, which would have been down here where the lower Bollinger Band is. And we could see once the price began to sell off and it got right to this point of almost touching where the lower Bollinger Band is, that's when we seen buyers step back in right there.
Now, I may ask a stupid question here, but see how some bands are fatter than others and then they get skinny?
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that? Or
so what that means is when we see the channel get skinny like this, tells us the markets are basically they're in agreement with where the prices are, but they're indecisive on which direction it wants to head next. So this is basically even though it's slightly pulling down, but if you look at it, it's kind of trading sideways, to a certain extent.
Okay.
It pulled down a little around this area, but right here we have some nice sideways trading, and that's usually what we see when the channel is more thin like that. And what that tells us is a breakout is likely to happen soon. We don't know when it's going to happen, but right now the market is indecisive on which direction it wants to go. It doesn't know, that's why it's staying sideways. The market agreed, like, okay, this is a good price here. This is a good price. This is a good price. This is a good price. Now they're starting, maybe because of outside conditions or pressures, whatever it could be weighing on things, buyers start to lose a little grip. The sellers pushing down on the price, eventually pulled it back a little further, and they got it right to where it touched this lower Bollinger Band before the price turned around again, and we got buyers to, well, not completely turned around, but before we see buying signals, we could see that buyers took that as a sign to go long, or to basically bet up.
So you're saying that right now we're turning upwards then?
Right now with it like this. See, when it's wider like this, that's because there's more volatility. Basically, there's more range where it can go up to down. When it's like this, there's less range that it can go up and down. So eventually it's going to break out. It could be to the upside, it could be to the downside. But we know when we start to see this taking place, that is usually a sign that we want to see a breakout. And that's why we use other indicators, because this in the Bollinger Band can tell us, like, okay, we're paying a cheap price right now, or a decent price right now. We can say that. And just me knowing already, I can do this in my head, but I would know that right now we're oversold by just looking at this. I can see the pullback, and I could tell, like, okay, this is we're at a point where it's oversold. If you take a look at, let's draw a horizontal line here. Notice how we found support here. The market doesn't really want to go below that point. Every time it taps this area, has a little bounce up, comes back down, taps this same horizontal line that I just dropped. So that's letting us know like we're kind of near that point where, you know, something has to happen. Now, to get confirmation, you never want to just go off of one indicator. You want to, you know, pile, I like to say maybe 3, but it's also what you're comfortable with. You don't want to have, you know, you'll see some people using 10 to 15 different, maybe like not 15, but like 8, 9 different indicators to try to, you know, determine what's going on. And for me, sometimes that could be a little cluttered. I tested out different ones when I was learning and found out which ones basically worked best for me, or that gave me the most confidence. And these are the ones that I came out with. Now, yes, there are other ones that I use in different situations and whatnot, but this is basically like my initial dashboard. If I pull up on a chart, I'm throwing these 3 indicators up right away just to, you know, get an idea of what's going on. And now, outside of the Bollinger Bands, so we know that when this channel gets thin like this, it's likely, you know, the market in agreement, but also they're in agreement with where the price is, but indecisive on where it should go next. Also, another thing, when you see small candles like this, you see how these candles are so thin, small candles, small candles, small candles, small candles, then we start to get some bigger candles. This part of the candle is called the real body. The line that you see going down out of the candle is called a shadow or a wick, some people call it. So the wick is, you know, just the point where the furthest point that it was taken to. The real body of the candle is the point where it opened and closed. So we know with green candles open from the bottom and they close at the top. So that means this candle moved in this direction. It opened here when it first started off at this time frame, and it pushed up, and then at the end of the day, it closed here. We can see that this day, the market opened, or the price opened here, and red candles or selling candles, they open from the top and close at the bottom. So we can see that. So when you understand this, you can see the direction on how the fight actually went between the bulls and the bears. So we can see right here that, you know, let's just start from here. Price opened up on this day, because each one of these candles represent 1 day in time, because we're on the 1 day chart. So we could move it. We can go down to a 4-hour chart. We can go to a 1 hour chart. You know, different platforms, you know, might have a 2 hour. You can even go down to 15 minute, 30 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, depending on which platform you're using. But we can see this day, the candle opened here. Sellers came, they pushed, closed the market here. So that was this movement right here. This is what we seen play out in this candle. This candle kind of tells us a story. So then the next day, the market opened here, another bearish day. We seen sellers push. Notice how we got this wick, this long line that comes out of this candle. What that tells us is sellers pushed the price all the way down here. And this point is where the bulls came back in and pushed the price back up. So it left this wick, or it left a shadow, because the price did not close down here. If the price would have closed at this point, then we would have had one solid red candle all the way through. That's the same, you know, kind of thickness as this candle. But because the bulls pushed the price back up, that made this candle close here. So that's what this long line is showing us. But this candle itself, this is why I recommend that book, Candlesticks Demystified. Not only does, you know, that tell us something, but the type of candle that this candle is a bullish candle. It's telling us, you know, that there was a lot of the sellers tried to, you know, the sellers were in control, but the buyers eventually, before the market closed, they really came back strong and closed out here. And then take a look at what happened the very next day, because the bulls pushed all the way. So this was one whole day of fighting right here between the bulls and the bears. Bears are fighting, pushing it, taking control, pushing it further. Finally, it gets to a point where the bulls have to step in. The price is too good. You know, they step in, they take control, they push it all the way back here. The market closes. The next day, it opens up, and look, the bulls are still in control. So now they take all this ground back. Pushed. Now this day closed here. Then the next day it opened here. What happened throughout this day? Sellers pushed it down just a little bit before buyers came back and said, no, we pushing it back up, and ended up closing, you know, up higher. And then it continued for a few days until it started to break outside of this upper Bollinger Band, which we know is a resistance area. We know once it starts to get outside of this level, most traders are going to start taking some profits. So we can expect, when we see something like this happen, the price break outside in this range, we can start, you know, to assume like, okay, it eventually is going to start to sell off. These are people scraping profits here. So price pushed up, even on this candle here. This candle, so this candle closed. This one opened here because it's a red candle. So it initially pushed down for a split moment before bulls pushed it all the way up. But these were people that were chasing. These are the people that seen the green candles and they started to chase and FOMO in and put their money in here. And then what happened as they continued to add their money, the sellers took that money off the table and pulled it right back down to this level. And by the end of this is called a gravedigger doji. So this is a bearish sign. This candle is telling us that the price is likely to start going back down. And we know that once it breaks back into this upper Bollinger Band, that the new support will be the mid Bollinger Band. So as it falls back in this realm of, the upper Bollinger Band, it starts to retrace down here. We can, determine in our mind that buyers may step back in around the mid Bollinger Band line, which we've seen that happen. And another thing you got to remember when you're looking at these is that other people know this information too. So sometimes they don't wait exactly to a T. They may, react, a little early, knowing that everybody else is waiting for some of these key areas as well. So sometimes that's why we can see some, like the mid Bollinger Band should have been a support, but sometimes the sellers will push it a little bit past that level to, shake up, the bulls a little more before the bulls come back in and, take control of that area. But we seen resistance here. It couldn't break above this point. It failed. It tried to, hold here at the mid Bollinger Band. If it would have been able to hold a support here, it could have continued, to go in this direction. But it violated this support here. And that tells us that it has to retrace to around the next support area or the next area where investors will feel comfortable buying back in. So I know that's a lot right there, but hopefully some of that sticks. But
no, it's very informative. Thank you.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, December.
Did y'all have a question on any of that right there before we jump to this next one?
I have a bazillion more questions, but I'll let you go on. I could sit here and talk all day about this stuff, but I'll let you go on.
So then we got our next indicators, the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Now this one is very, very important for me. All of these are important, but this one is important. I love my Bollinger Bands. I could almost do this with the Bollinger Bands without using some of these other indicators, but I wouldn't have as much confidence in my trades without these other indicators. But the RSI, Relative Strength Index, this tells us, how overbought or oversold is this asset right now. So there's a scale. I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but we got numbers over here on the right side: 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 43, 40, and then we got 30. Now on this scale here, what we're looking for is to determine, this indicator tells us, is the asset overbought or oversold. Overbought means too many people are hyped up about it. Too many people are chasing it. Too many people, and it's not saying like it's a bad thing, but we can use that to determine that, okay, we know that it's likely to pull back soon because it's overbought. Too many people aren't realizing the technicals of it. They might just seen a lot of green candles, or they might have just heard some exciting news and now they want to buy it. Because some people buy completely not understanding anything of what's going on from a technical standpoint. So they might not know that, hey, you see the prices outside of the upper Bollinger Band, it looks like we're about to start seeing some selling pressure. They don't understand that. They just see this area right here of all green candles, and that means go to them. Green means go, red means stop to, some like, beginner investors when they're first getting in. That's why some people chase green candles, and when they should really be buying is on the red days or on the red candles. But to them, in their mind, we're programmed to, red means stop or don't, or, it's bad, or, whatever. So most people don't take advantage of that. They wait till they see something like this and they see all these green candles and they say, you know what, let me try now. And what they end up doing is buying at the worst possible time because they don't understand technical analysis, and they get their money taken off the table. That's what happens. But now with the RSI, so it's telling us, is it overbought or oversold? Oversold is meaning people aren't valuing the asset as much as they should. It's like, okay, like I know some bad news might have just happened in the market, but y'all got, Bitcoin down to $7,000 a Bitcoin. Like, we know that's a steal. You know what I'm saying? It's oversold right now. Too many people are afraid. That's what the oversold can tell us. Now, a 70, if it's on the scale right here. So let's just see where we are naturally. Right now, we're at a number 32 on the RSI. So a 35 and below is considered oversold. A 70 and above is considered overbought. Anywhere else in that middle, like a 50 or something, that's kind of like in the middle range. Now we can use this to kind of determine and pair it with our Bollinger Band to tell us, is the price going to pull back a little bit more, or is it likely to turn around because the price is at a steal right now? It's oversold. It's a cheap price right now. That's what these two indicators can tell us. So looking at these two, I can see the price is closer to the lower Bollinger Band. Yes, I would like to buy on that lower Bollinger Band if I could, but sometimes it doesn't always give you exactly right to the T, because other people are watching this as well, and they won't let it go to those levels because they understand what's happening also. So, but right now, looking at this, I can say, okay, the candlesticks are trading below the mid Bollinger Band, closer to the lower Bollinger Band. Yes, there's a little room before, like, we zoom in a little bit. Yes, there's a little room underneath this candle to still pull back some. It's some decent room to, you know, pull back possibly to that 703 level. So that tells us, you know, we still got a little room to go down, because we know at this level, when it touches here, buyers will step in. Notice how the price retrace, and once we start riding along this lower Bollinger Band, this is when we got this movement here. Investors gave it a couple candles. They let it touch the lower Bollinger Band. They said, okay, hopefully this is where it turns around, because nobody knows for sure. Nobody has a crystal ball. So it's not like these indicators give us 100% accuracy, or it would have been trillionaires all over the place by now. But this can help investors make better informed decisions. So you can say we've been trading, you know, a little sideways. We had a pullback. We are oversold right now. We did touch the lower Bollinger Band. The price is likely to, you know, see some bullish sentiment soon. That would have been, you know, so buyers that stepped in right here, they weren't wrong for that. That was a good idea to step in right here. And then also, if you take a close look at this candle here, like this cross candle, like this a thin candle with a line with the two lines coming out of it, that's called a doji candle. When we see a doji candle at the bottom of a downtrend, so at the bottom of this downtrend, we see the price trending down. We see the price trending down, and then we see the doji candle form. The doji candle in the bottom of a downtrend tells us that the price is likely to reverse. It doesn't mean it's going to happen right away at that moment, but we can start looking for signs of reversal. So using other indicators like our RSI, we can determine right now the price is very oversold on Vol-Inu right now. We are at a 32 when the level of oversold, when the asset is oversold, no question about it, is 35 or lower. So we're definitely in that oversold range. So that means people are more scared right now and they're not realizing. But the wise, smart money will see that and say, oh, the asset's oversold right now. It's time to step in. Let's put our buys in. That way, once the regular retail investor realizes what's going on, we have our money in already, and they have to buy on top of us, which increases our position. So that's what people use that for. And now let's say it was closer to a 70. If it was closer to a 70, then we could determine, like, okay, the price is likely about to possibly pull back because it's overbought. Too many people are hyped up right now. People are just buying it, not caring about, you know, what the actual price is right now. So that's one way to use these two together. And then another point, I don't know if I even finished that point. My bad, y'all, I'm all over the place. But looking at the size of the candles tells you how confident the market was in this movement. So when we see longer candles versus these skinny little candles like dashes like this, these movements right here were more confident movements. These mean people believed in these movements. When we see a movement like this to the downside with a candle like this, like with this much real body on the candle, we can know that, okay, this is a strong, confident signal that the market wants to go down. Because look how big this red candle is. It's not like a short one with, you know, candle after candle. This is one movement like that. So that means that was a sweeping move that was made. And usually when we see that take place, it was something, you know, more that investors are on one page about, that they know, like something bad might have happened, some bad news a bad article might have dropped or something like that, you know, something that could, you know, be a negative catalyst. And then so we got 35 below is oversold, 70 and above is overbought. And then we can use our MACD, our moving average convergence divergence, to determine when will buyers basically step in. This is the signal that buyers, some of the wiser ones that are waiting for the last moment to really, to time it, this is an indicator that you can use. So once we see this blue line here cross over this signal line, that's usually, so the blue line is our moving average convergence divergence, and then we got this red signal line. Once the blue line crosses over this red line, that tells us that buyers are about to start going long. Investors usually wait for this signal to go long or go short. So at this point here, like if we take a look at our MACD, look at the correlation between the MACD and the actual candlesticks themselves. Notice how the candlesticks are going up, 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 up. Notice how the MACD is above this red signal line. But notice once the price starts to trend back down, once it starts to sell off, we got the MACD moving back closer to this signal line here. And once it actually crosses under, that's a signal to investors in the market to either go short or close positions. So going short would basically mean that you're betting that you would make money if the price goes down further. And investors that are betting long, that are trying to make money if the price increases or goes up, they're closing positions out at this point. So if they see, they'll say, I'll hold my position. But if I see the MACD start to cross under this signal line, some people could already recognize it when it starts to turn down. We would already been able to know that from the price breaking outside of this upper Bollinger Band. Once I would have seen the price break outside this upper Bollinger Band and starting to see it, the MACD start to curl down, I wouldn't have had to wait until it crossed underneath here. I could have said, okay, I could see it's heading back, it's retracing. So that's how you can use these three indicators together. This one tells you, once this blue line crosses over this red line, when some wise investors that are trying to time it, when they're likely to go long or short. And then we got the RSI, which tells us if the asset is overbought or oversold. And then we got the Bollinger Bands, which will tell us, like, are you paying a good price for it, and where the price is likely to range. It's likely to stay within this range here.
So if I'm understanding you, all three indicators are saying Volt's a good buy right now.
Absolutely. There we go. There we go. I was thinking that to myself, like, yeah, this is actually a good time to grab some, because it's very oversold. And we know one thing, Volt turns around. Like, this is what some people do. They see times like this and they wait until, we gain all this back. They wait until we're, back trading around this area. Let's use a good resistance point. So right here, because this is where we start to see some resistance over here. So we'll just play this out, and we can say that we know it's most likely going to come back around this range. But so that 1552 level. So so around that 1552 level. And this is just a rough estimate, y'all. So we could see like us, with knowing how to use these indicators, we can know right now is a good time to buy Volt. Some people may wait until they see this play out, until they see the next candles play out, till they see the next candles play out. Then before you know it, we're back at this 1500 level. And then that's when they want to feel comfortable buying again, because it looks like it's going to continue now back on a, all-time high, I guess, path of going up, versus getting in here and making an additional, 100% gains, on, whatever you would have dollar cost averaged in at that time.
Wow.
Very insightful and helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. That's key, now, those three things are definitely, I'm being the books now. It's like,
it's really worth it though. It's really, like, honestly, like, I started, I was big into, I dabbled with crypto first, but I was doing stocks, seeing more success from because during the bear market, you don't see, usually short-term traders make more money in a bear market because you can buy low, sell high. Long-term investors are waiting for, those all-time high prices, in the future to be able to take profits. So during that time, short-term traders are going to make more money. So I learned to day trade, and I was, having some luck, making some money at first or whatever, but I was trading options, and I wasn't understanding, I was, something called gambler's fallacy. You get a little luck here and you start to make bigger and bigger bets. And, so I ran into that and lost some decent money, it's basically what I was making at the time. And the one thing that changed the game for me was picking up those books to really, really learn what was happening. I had an idea, you know, it was vague. It was like, okay, I kind of get it. I can get lucky here and there and make some money, but it didn't fully click until, you know, I knocked some of those books down. And it's just really, you just need some of the concepts, you know. You don't need to, because the books are full of different strategies and concepts. You don't need to know every single one of them before you know you can start making money. You just want to be confident in using or developing a strategy, and then, you know, rocking forward with your strategy. But once you do that, I swear it was like I couldn't understand. It was like a foreign language, and after I did that, it was like I was fluent in the language. It was like all of a sudden things I couldn't see before, everything just made sense. It was like, how did I not see this before? It just became so basic once I, you know, took in some of that textbook information. So, you know, I know it can be intimidating sometimes for some, but don't let it get you in it, because it's very valuable. Once you get over a certain hump when it comes to technical analysis or just learning about the space in general or fundamental analysis, it really makes the game a lot easier for you. So that helps with confidence as well, because you know what you're doing. So I can look at the chart, and if I do a 5K buy right here on Volt, yes, that's a little more, you know, then you shouldn't be just trying to throw 5K at it at once. But I can tell, like me, if I'm trying to make some quick gains, you know, I can say, I know that this is oversold. I know that the RSI is at a 32 right now. I know that the price is trading near that lower Bollinger Band. I know that we got a doji candle at the bottom of a downtrend. I'm using all these different things that I know to kind of put them together and see, what do they tell me? Do they confirm each other? Are they saying the same thing? And right now they are. Now, of course, things can always go different, because a monkey wrench can get thrown in this, you know, the equation where if it's a negative catalyst, now you have to recalibrate everything. You have to, whatever you analyzed before, you have to reanalyze it now, because there was a new catalyst. A positive catalyst or a negative catalyst can make all this, you know, like irrelevant, you know, where you'll have to reanalyze everything.
So when you get up in the mornings, this is what you just go straight. Do you go straight to charts and see what?
So I'm looking at prices, and once you do this enough, you can kind of correlate what the price is, you know, because we see this every day. So we can kind of tell, like I could just tell in my mind, knowing that Volt is at this 7.9 level, I can tell for the most part, especially with the rest of the market pumping right now, Volt is oversold. It's people being fearful. It's not Volt is down because a Volt is a bad project. It's people just don't understand right now. But I can use that to my advantage, make a buy here. Like, especially if I want to, you know, I always tell people, I recommend creating multiple bags. Create your long term. If you're long, I mean, this is not financial advice, do whatever you want to do. But for me, I like to have my long-term bags, and I like to have some bags that I can take profits from as well and day trade with if I want. You know, if I see a good opportunity, you know, and I know what's about to play out, or I'm confident in what's about to play out, you know, why wouldn't I try to go for a nice 30-40% and, you know, get some profits off the table? That's the risk you're taking. That's why you learn this information. So that way you don't have to just hold indefinitely. Yeah, you want to hold your bags for the, you know, your long-term bags though, but you'll have a strategy in the meantime to bring money home as well, because, you know, think about it. There's so many opportunities. Like, look, this the point. The price retraced here, it pumped here, it retraced here, pumped up a little here, retraced here. You know, and it continued from this level to, you know, retrace. But there's areas where, you know, you can buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high. You can do that over and over. There's no limit to that. It's just that having this information. If you don't got this information, then you wouldn't be able to know when is a good time. Like, oh, like this is an event, you know, opportunity right now. Volt Inu right now is trading at a 36 on the RSI. So it's right at that point of, you know, right before it's becoming oversold right now, which right there, I would count that already as oversold. But like, let's take a look at this. Like when we get a phenomenon like this, where the RSI goes way under our, you know, area of like right here at 30, we already know 35 and below is oversold. But if we look right here, I made a video a few days ago. The RSI was at a level 24. This was the most oversold Volt Inu has ever been in its history. Well, on this new contract that I can see on the chart. So that means investors don't even realize how much of a deal Volt Inu is right now. They'll only start to recognize it once we're back in that 1500 range, or, you know, the 15 level, you know, and things like that. But an investor that understands 35 and below is oversold. This RSI has no business being at a 24. We normally don't even see that with other projects. Like it can happen, but we know if it's that oversold, it has to spring back the other way. It's like a rubber band. If you pull a rubber band, one way, eventually, once you let it go, it has to go the other way. So I'm looking at it just like that. If I see it that oversold, I'm looking at it just like that. I'm like, it's below 35. It's all the way down, basically 11 points more than that oversold. Oversold level. It's 11 points under that at a 24 RSI. Oh yeah, that's the time to buy. That's like an automatic. We don't even have to, it's not financial advice. Something crazy could happen and it can keep going down. But really, we know we can just throw some money. I'm not trying to be reckless and say that to y'all, but like to me, it's like we know it's going up after that. It has to go. It's hope. It's not now if this was a janky project where I didn't have confidence in them, I didn't know if they were going to continue to build, I wouldn't be so confident to say, oh my God, it's this oversold. I could throw something in it and I know it's going back up. I wouldn't be that confident, but this is Volt. So I know it's just people panicking right now, people not understanding right now. But this is right now is a special time with Volt.
Bullish.
But I'll wrap it up with that because I could go on.
I love it. So I'm like, I know Space Chick she's Miss Technical.
Oh, I'm loving this. I'm just like, keep talking. This is awesome.
We gonna bring Mr. Gang Banger YL317 on the stage.
Okay.
No, YL.
What up? What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? What's up, December? How you doing, brother?
Chilling, man. Just chopping it up with the ladies.
Hey, man, I saw, man.
This is our resident comedian.
Hey, I'm sorry I'm late, man. I was doing work. I just happened to jump on. And I'm like, oh shit, it's tonight, man. And yeah, man. I apologize, man. But I saw you dropping them gems on the chart, man.
Yeah, we just went in. I ain't gonna lie. We did, y'all. This is heavy on the replay, y'all. That catch this later. Shout out to everybody catching this. We already see Volt Inu starting to pick up right now. Somebody must have been listening to that. They said, "Hold on, is this overflow?"
Let's go.
Well, I mean, that's a good. You're thinking about Voltoshi putting out the catalyst of like the zero tax and the buybacks, right? That's a good strategy for trying to push it back up, knowing where it is on the chart.
Especially as a trader, of course we got the long-term bags, but for somebody that's looking in the short term, and really we need some people don't like, and some investors, they don't like the ones that are day trading, or they feel like, y'all pushing the price back down, or just hold and let it continue to go up. But that's just not realistic. That's just not how it works. There's always going to be somebody buying and selling, but that's good because it creates trading volume for the project, which creates marketing funds. It creates excitement. It creates more whales into the project. People are looking for good trading volume. When they want to day trade a project, they're not trying to trade a project that has 1K volume per day. They want to see a project that really has some money moving in it, so that way there's opportunity there, and that opportunity will bring even more opportunity. So it's really good to have a project that people want to day trade, that people want to try to time to buy low, sell high, because that creates all the other price action that could come from it.
But you're really gonna have to, with our taxes at 26%. I mean, you're really gonna have to not time it. Is that what
Well, you just gotta account for that percentage. But if you're buying low, you gotta remember, like, let's say you make a 40% gain, your sale is only 13% of the percent that you made. So it's not like you're just putting back out the same, like a large percentage. It's only that percentage of the gains that you made. So day traders don't mind that, especially if they're doing it over and over several times throughout the day. And depending on position size, some people are doing it with small, pots, over and over and over, and they got to keep scalping. And some investors are doing it, they may be doing it with 25, 100K, whatever that number is, where if they get a 10%, if let's just say not with Volt, but let's just say a project like Bitcoin or Shiba Inu, if someone's trading it, if someone's trading with a $50,000 trade or $100,000 trade, and they make 30% on that, or 35%, that's $35,000. That's a good day for somebody. That's that's cool.
That's a good day for a lot of
right.
people.
Yes, all right.
I just made 35K this today off of some nice price action. You could take 13%, fine.
Yeah.
But it's wise to do it during the zero tax events, because now you get 100% just like it's like free extra money now, especially if you understand the technicals. If there's a, and this one thing too, y'all want to pay attention to, a lot of times those buy events happen when the charts are good, because you got to think about it. If if smart investors are buying, or even if Atoshi is giving people a chance to buy, he's going to want to do it when it's the best, time to be able to do it, that way you can accumulate more for cheap, or that way, you can get in, to be able to make some money before the price, actually turns around. Now, some people don't realize that money because they're not looking at, if it's the price is down and the next day or over this next week, the price is up, 15, 20%. They're not looking at it like that because they're holding for a longer period of time. But a person who bought the dip with the specific intent to trade it on the next rip, that's cool with them.
That's cool with us too. Reflections, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So those zero tax events are really a good time to sneak in and really take advantage of adding to that position if you plan on doing that already.
And they announced the tax free, and then they're doing the 50K buyback burn as well. So it's really it's 100K.
Follow smart money. This is what I learned to do when I trade. My investment strategy, or not investing, but because that's more of a long term. But my trading strategy is to jump in with smart money. Why do I want to try to figure it out myself? And be this little fish swimming in the next to ocean steamliners when I could just jump on a board with one of them. If I could recognize what they're looking for, I could understand they're waiting for it to be oversold. I could understand they're waiting for the price to hit the lower Bollinger Band. I could understand they're waiting for the MACD to cross over that signal line. And I could look at those different areas like, okay, are they boarding right now? Do it look like they'll board right? Yep, right here. And then I jump in with the best of my knowledge that I have, and it's not a crystal ball, but it's an informed decision. And usually that plays out well because it's what the other informed investors are trying to do. It can get tricky though, so that's why you never risk more than you're willing to lose. Because even knowing this, it's still never 100% at all.
Right. Wow. Bullish. Wow. I know we got a lot of buys coming in.
They better be coming
in. Everybody's paying attention and running in.
Yeah, they hear December talking.
Buy now, guys. Buy now.
And if y'all want to be negligent to that BNB side, don't even worry. I got you.
Don't trip. I'm with you, YL. Don't trip.
I got you.
Hey, I'm on both sides.
Hey.
Same.
I love how you touched on the multiple bag thing. So I just thought I love that. I think that everybody should have more than one bag.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, because think about it. Let's say if we were waiting for, let's say in the instance with Sheeb, if everybody's waiting for 1 cent, and you're stuck on 1 cent, you're like I'm not selling till my 1 cent go. Like that's fine and all, but what about having a bag that you could sell at half a cent or a quarter of a cent? That would still be a decent amount of money as well. Versus because this is what happens. Everybody's the beginners, the people that's just starting off, they're all waiting for this static number, like 1 cent or $1 or like this whole number, but not realizing that there's traders that understand that the majority of people are waiting for that specific number. So they'll always sell it before it gets to that point. So let's say if you're waiting on specifically 1 cent, it may hit a half a cent 3-4 times before, throughout a year or two, before it even gets to that 1 cent level, because people always take profit at a certain level. Now you just missed out on several opportunities to, take a bag home because you only had one bag that you didn't want to disturb, that's understandable. If you bought something, you plan on holding it for the long term, a lot of times you don't want to mess up that, your cost average. So it's like, I don't want to touch that bag, but why not just start another one? And have that opportunity when the time comes. It's like, whoa, like even if it's like, of course we all want, multiple millions, but it's like, even if you get a bag that gave you a quick 6 figures, not accidentally, but just, unexpectedly, like you don't have to look at it like, do I have to settle for not taking my millions because I want to sell early, or do I want to take the 6 figures off the table? Because that's nice for anybody. So you can say like, okay, I still got my long-term bag and I got, You know, I got 2, 3 long-term bags, and I got 3 short-term bags that I could play around with. You know, I got 1 medium short-term bag, you know, 1 short bag if we get, you know, something that I really like. You know, you just play around with it. So that way you have more options and you're not forced to, you know, sell out your complete position if, you know, we start to see a run. Because that's what happens. Like, that happened to me before, you know, with different projects. I could have made an extra $250,000 off of Doge just by, if I would have waited to sell my big portion that I sold 60 days later, would have just been an extra, you know, 250, like just for 60 more days. But because, you know, I didn't have as many bags as I wanted, but that's when I learned that situation from Doge. I'm like, I should have had several bags. And now, you know, we do our thing now. So, you know, it works out.
Wow. What do you think about, or does anybody else have questions? Because I'm going, okay.
I was just gonna say I was that guy holding Doge for $1, man, and it never hit. So
and there's several opportunities in between to take big money home. But if you're waiting for just that one number because you only got one bag and you don't want to mess it up, then you're missing out on opportunity. Because you got to remember, we're in a bear market. Short-term traders make more money in a bear market than long-term investors. Now, long-term investors win in the big picture. Long-term investors, you know, come out on top. But if we're going to be in a bear market for, you know, another 6 months, year, whatever, why not be able to make some money too? You know, why not be able to take something off the table?
You saying something else, YO?
No, I was just agreeing with him. I'm just saying, play both games. Shit, make money the whole way through. You know,
exactly.
I know. So what do you? So let's just say hypothetically, which I would really like for it to be real. What if we were in the bull run, and you see how ETH goes up, you know, Volt goes up, but that together, like the price going up together with ETH going up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see? Do you think would that be really volatile like that, or is it just?
I mean, well, the space in general is just volatile in nature. So we got volatility. Volatility makes the markets. If there was no volatility in the markets, it wouldn't be attractive to investors because there's no room for traders if there's no volatility. Because there would be no room. Volatility is how you make your money when you're trading. You need it to be some spread. You need it to be up and down. So that way you get the opportunity to use technicals like this to catch it while it's down, and then you can use the technicals to know to sell it when it's up. So that's what attracts volatility, really attracts investors. So it's good, but it's something called sympathy. So because Volt is an ERC20 token built on the Ethereum chain that gives it receives sympathy from Ethereum. So when Ethereum starts to, you know, kind of trend and do well, it doesn't mean it's always going to happen every single time. But for the most part, if the Ethereum chain is doing well, projects also on the Ethereum chain could receive some sympathy and also do well.
Oh, wow. It's a lot. That's a lot, but this is great information. Yeah.
It is, but
I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch this again.
in the way too, I like to try to save people a lot of the fluff. You know, a lot of when I was reading a lot of stuff, they fluffed up so much stuff where it's like, why didn't they just say this? Or why didn't they just put it like this? You know, so I try to, you know, just really give y'all the meat and potatoes of what this, you know, of what's really, you know, taking place, the idea behind it, what people are looking for. Like, yes, there's so much more, you know, some people could talk about when it comes to these, but, you know, this is the gist of it right here. This is what I'm looking for, you know, and once you can put it together like this, even like if y'all do replay this and really, you know, start to grasp some of these concepts, or just, you know, use some of what I'm saying and look into it a little bit more to get to understand it a little better, it's going to change the game for y'all. If are any of y'all like day traders or actively trading?
I came in as a day trader, so
okay. So yeah,
I trade options. I trade options and stuff like that.
Okay. So you know what's up. But this is when you learn these indicators, even for the option game. This is what I love about these same indicators. You can use them for stocks, crypto, anything that has a chart and it can be analyzed. You can use these same indicators and the same principles to, you know, apply to, you know, whatever it is that you're looking at.
Awesome.
I like how Ozzy say, if you don't know how to read a chart while you're looking at them. This is your
Right, exactly.
opportunity right here to learn how to read a chart so you can actually make some use when you're looking at them.
This is literally
Green, red.
this
Yeah.
is hieroglyph for some people.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
literally hieroglyphs. Some people will just look at this and not know what anything means, not have a clue of what's going on. And that's so dangerous to be buying into crypto. I mean, it's good to get started or whatever, but it's dangerous to be putting in serious money or, calling yourself serious about this and you don't even have a basic concept of technical analysis. Not saying you got to be a master analyst or anything like that, but you want to know support, resistance areas. You want to know what certain indicators mean, and have at least that base, because that's going to take you from out of that pool of 90% of investors that don't understand, left from right when it comes to technical analysis. And those people just get hit upside the head all day. They don't know what's going on. They don't know. They buy and they don't know. They like, man, I just bought. How come every time I buy, the price goes down? It's like you buying every time the price breaks outside the upper Bollinger Band. So it has to pull back. You're buying every time it's overbought. But they don't realize that because they don't understand how to use any of these indicators. So they're just feeling like it's personal, like, man, it's me. Like, it's like, but it's really not. It's just like you just got to understand what the rest of the market is doing. And somehow, I don't know how they did this, but these markets are very like they understand how to go off like human emotion. Like it's more than just a chart. Like these markets are alive. They got, algorithms, to them. They got very smart people that understand, if we pull this asset down over here, it can affect this asset. That can make people panic over there, make them panic sell. We come scoop up that. Like it's treacherous. Y'all got to understand that this device, this Warren Buffett said it. It's so literal. This is a device to transfer money from the hands of the impatient to the patient. Do not forget that. And it's deeper than probably the way you might hear it. These markets are a device to transfer money from one to the next. So you don't want to be the one that doesn't understand what position to be in, or else you're basically getting your money just sent around until you eventually keep getting, taking little losses, and eventually till you get shook out of the market. So that's why I just want to stress, it's so important to understand technical analysis so that way we don't move like dumb money.
Wow. So, like, when I came into the space, and Demarco came in with the real. Break it down, Demarco. Well, I think there's two things I'm going to say. One is when I came in, I just came in. So I understand how people just be looking at charts, and I'm just like, okay, I looked at the name and said, hey, I want to buy that. And I bought
we all started like that. We all did. But at some point you got to get serious though. Some point you got to take your money for real and understand like, okay, this is my future here. My future self will thank me for the effort and the what I'm putting in right now. Right.
Yeah. So but see, how do you say it? I guess it's who you come in with. Who if you come, they teach you. Because I had a person who was telling me, oh, everything went red. I'm telling you, December, everything went red. I mean, everything went red. And I was like, oh my God, my money is leaving. All I hear my friends saying is this: don't sell, don't sell, don't sell. I'm like, the money's going down. It's leaving.
And that's hard on some people. It really has a psychological effect in these markets because like you said, you see the money going down in your mind, I'm losing money right now. My money is gone. But really it's a paper loss. It's not really a real loss until you sell. Don't get me wrong. It could be real losses. Don't see your portfolio down 50%. Don't be like, oh, it's just a paper loss. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it has the potential to go back up though. You don't lock in those losses until you actually let the asset go, because it eventually in the future can go back up. And you could even, let's say it pulled back, 40%, you could take advantage of that, buy even more. And then once it returns to normal, now you just up even extra because you understand, the markets, you understand technicals, and you're able to put all that together. Now, some people aren't. They get down 40%, and they might not even seen that all the indicators were lined up to say the price cannot go any lower. But because they don't understand that, they just like, you know what, I'm locking in that 40% loss. They walk away. Then when they walk away, now the price is going back up. And they like,
yeah, man.
That happens. That happens to all of us. You just got to learn.
That's a hard lesson.
You bringing back memories, man. You bringing back memories. I'm over here having flashbacks.
Yeah.
I sold everything, and then it was like, oh my god! And it wasn't, but I think, but a month later, everything was just going right back up. It was crazy.
That's why you have to have confidence in what you buy. That's why you don't just put the house on it. Dollar cost average. I like to literally say, some people don't like when I say that. It comes off like with a negative, I guess, connotation when I'm saying only risk what you're willing to lose. Some people think I'm saying like put how much money you want in the garbage. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying don't put yourself in a tough situation to where the psychological start to take place. You start to realize like I might have to take this money out in 3-4 days to pay some bills, and it's down 40%. Like, whoa, I shouldn't even put it in there. Now you start you start basically becoming your own worst enemy. When it's time to invest and trade, being emotional is the worst thing you can do, because you'll jump out of a position here because you're down 10%, go jump in something else, go down 15%, panic, jump to something else, go down another 10-15%, jump to something else. And that's what happens to most investors. Even if they make money in the space, they end up bouncing from project to project and giving it all back. So, that's why you want to, really have that confidence and, be willing to give it time. Warren Buffett also says time in the market beats timing the market. So, as long as you can, keep some of those things in mind, and, it can kind of soothe you at those times where you might, because don't get me wrong, it's times when I can, it's not as big, but there's times like leading up to where I am now, it was times where I could see like my portfolio at ways I didn't like it. It's like I had a lot more in there than that, or, it's like, okay, it's going down like this, like, okay, but, we're in a bear market right now, so all we can do is understand it, educate ourselves, and use this time to take advantage, because it's going to go back up. Crypto, humans, once we reach a certain level of advancement, we don't like to go backwards, so ever since in the 50s, when they dropped credit cards was this brand new thing. Like people, it was like, what, my money's on some plastic card? Like that sounds like a scam. Like that, like some people didn't even believe it. It took a while for it to catch on, but now look how entangled credit cards are to our everyday lives. That's crypto right now. That we are right now 1950 with credit cards, with crypto right now. That's what's going on right now. It's just, it takes some time for all these developments to really take place, but it's not going anywhere. Even if they, come regulate it, which, we could use a little bit at this point, but, it's not going to go anywhere. True DeFi, you can't take away true DeFi, even though there are some projects who, come under the, guise of like, oh, this is DeFi, it's crypto, whatever, but somehow like it's not really true DeFi. But the truest of the truest decentralized finance projects, they basically, I don't want to say can't be stopped, but they can't be just, you can't throw a bucket of water on them and put that fire out. It doesn't work like that, because it's already decentralized in nature. It's out there already.
Okay, so okay, this is off. This is something else. This is something I want to know. What do you think about when you hit on the regulations, like with Bitcoin becoming a commodity, or with their security, or whatever it is they're going to try to label it?
I think it was already Bitcoin and Ethereum already been voted as not securities, so basically like commodities. But as far as the space in general, at this point, I was one of the ones that's like, I don't like them, encroaching a little too much on, what we doing over here. But it's like when we got bad actors in the space that can steal $16 billion worth of, customer funds, it's like, okay, because that can damn near knock the crypto space into the ice age. I'll be telling some of my people, like, if we get knocked back to the ice age, we can get comfortable in the bear market, because it's going to be a while, until, things start to heat back up. But like, we can't take another one, another FTX right now. Let's say if Binance, if it turns out they're doing something shady or something like that, and that crumbles, or, any other one that's, major like that, that would really send us back, like, very far back, where it'll take, maybe 5-10 years to get out of that hole. But it's like, the space is always evolving, it's growing. One thing too I like about the markets, I'm not sure if I'm going off topic with this, but the markets always price information in instantly. Of course, if it's a future catalyst that nobody knows about, but once that information becomes public, it gets priced into the markets instantly. So it can always change. Things can always happen. If we get a good piece of news, something that's truly bullish, like as far as like the bear market is over with, it's really we seeing crypto get back to those, we reached the all-time high of $3 trillion market cap for the overall crypto space in around November 21, end of October, November. And if we start to see those numbers creep back towards that level, that can be something. Once articles start going out saying, crypto heading back towards all-time high market cap and things like that, that can be things to fuel the market and push it along further and, take us to where we need to go. And I was just all over with that, so my bad if I ain't.
No, I go down rabbit trails. I'm like, I just like picking, when stuff go like picking people's brains. I'm like, oh, what do you think? So that's just me. But I love it. I want to say, well, you have been on for an hour and a half. I don't want to keep you any longer. I could, but I know. I need you to come back. I love you. No, I really enjoyed you coming to our channel. Gosh, I mean, what you blessed us with today was truly phenomenal. Seriously. This vote to me is life. Y'all don't know. I spam everybody. Vote.
Let's go. That's how you
We love it. We love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just super excited about what we learned tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Excited about the news that we got dropped today. So, we got 24 hours or less than 24 hours now to push the buyback and tax-free. What else do we got to do? No, that's big.
So with the buyback, do we have to do it within 24 hours, or whatever we buy in 24 hours is going to get bought back? Like, do we have to hit a certain amount? 50K on each side?
No, it's just no, that's how much he has it open until. So like worth of the flow. Next that amount of buying.
Yeah, it's just the tax. It's 24 hours tax free.
And so also too as well, we need to be pushing the widgets on the projects. We need to be pushing that out, tweeting I know I'm just going through the little widgets before I get everybody off it, but we need to make sure we're tweeting out, guys. If you can go into a project and and you're cool with them, don't go in pushy and all that stuff. But if you're cool with them, you can go and you can communicate, guys. That's where we're at. We're trying to get the Volti change up to at least that 222, right? December.
Yeah.
But I think once everything starts taking off, I think it's just gonna just catapult into. I think we'll be way past that. But I like. I know another thing. I like how you did that tweet. The 1%. I was like, that is bullish. Just 1%, guys.
Yeah, exactly, and it's catching on right now. And utility is very important in crypto. That's what gets some people going or even using a project in the first place. And the utility Votoshi created, with Volti Change, that is a needed tool for new projects. New meme coins need a place they can point to and say, we just listed on Volti Change, or we just, got made deflationary thanks to Volti Change, or, we're whatever the thanks to Volti Change. That's the important part about it. The fact that we're providing, that utility for newer projects to be able to thrive. And, as they build their communities, let's say, the next Volt or Sheeb or, Doge or, whichever one of these projects want to name is, launched on Volti Change, or, the community catches on to it right away and they start, getting the widget on their website ASAP, and it really blows up. Think about how many tokens that's going to be burned for Volt Inu. Think about how much excitement, that's going to bring to Volt Inu through other projects who find out like, okay, they were listed on Volti Change, or we see the widget on their website. Like, what's this Volti Change? Let's check this out. And eventually they add it to their website, and it just becomes, a snowball of value because the utility is so good. Wow. Shout out to Golf Guy 707, man. Appreciate you pulling up on this.
Okay, guys.
We had a question from Fisherman real quick. I just want to, because a lot of people asked
that.
Okay. Our taxes on transfer ledgers from another wallet free for taxes too. Nah, man, it's only buys. Only buys is free. Transfers and sales, you get nothing. So yeah, just buy it up, bro. Buy it up, and then we going fishing, man.
That's why Volti changes are so key, guys. I'm so super bullish about that, man. Every time I think about where we're at, of course, and then like, oh yeah, December. Pablo said last night, first DeFi tier 1.
Nice.
Bullish.
That's a goal right there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a goal. I didn't even look at it like that, but once we start moving like that, and really like look at the Uniswaps, look at the people that serve the people in the space that where we are. Uniswap, Pancake Swap, like Volti Change is already more utility than that, because those exchanges aren't making these projects deflationary. So
right.
Like that was wild for Satoshi to think of that, like to because there's so many different decentralized exchanges, but to actually say I'm gonna implement this burn mechanism that burns not only their project's token but our project, and it's gonna be such a number where it's effective, but yet it's not deterrent either. That to make that happen and have these other projects excited about it is crazy, because we're gonna get so much free promotion and marketing through all these other communities that want to leverage multi-change. So yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I think 2023 is our year. We just got to be patient. If things start to turn around, I'm confident that Volt Inu has done everything it needs to do to be one of those projects. You got to remember, before Doge popped off, we were just the community. We were just sitting around trying to motivate each other, keep each other. Because remember, it didn't happen yet. It didn't blow up yet. So now we can look back and say, like, it's easy to hindsight is 2020. It's like now. But at the time when I was sitting down for a year in Doge and it wasn't doing anything, it's like. But after going through that, it's easier to recognize those similarities in the times now. It's like, oh, okay, here's another one of those periods. Like, yeah, what it might be another 8 months before we see that some type of mega breakout or something like that. I could wait that once I'm knowing it's happening, because I know it's gonna happen sooner or later. So with that, I'm fine. I'm cool.
Ooh. IRL.
Trying to be hip, Ladybug. IRL, BRB.
That's only because he told me what he meant that night. He was in the chat. No, seriously, I know you did one meetup, but we're supposed to be going to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to see what kind of parties what kind of stuff
out here. If y'all pull up to Vegas, y'all know y'all gotta tap in with me ASAP.
It's gonna be a BDSC
I'm just throwing
party,
it out there because we're gonna pull up. We ain't even no answers or buts.
We definitely been talking about some things on the back end for IRL events. So stay tuned. But if y'all end up coming out sooner or whatever, y'all already know it's love. So tap in with me.
Sure.
Nice.
We'll
be there.
Yeah. You gamble at all, or you too much?
It'll have to be. I have to really be in the mood, like family visiting, and they already at their whatever casino or hotel, and they're like, okay, let's stop downstairs to gamble real quick. I'll throw something on there, but this is my casino. DeFi.
He runs that right there. All right, guys.
That's pretty much all I got, though, man. I definitely enjoyed myself, chopping up with y'all. I will be back for sure. I think it's good to just touch bases, break some things down, share information with the community who might not understand certain things, because leaving from this, it could be somebody who's listening and tuned in that something really, really clicked for them, and things can be different from this point on for them because of that. So us doing this, like, you putting these streams together, this is very important. It's like, I like to say, we have to shield our bags too. We got to work for our bags. If we really believe in a project, we got to do what we can as well, to put the project on the map. And this is what we're doing right here. This is a part of it. Shout out to John B. Shout out to June Gent.
Everybody.
Man.
Yeah. Everybody, go like and subscribe to everybody on here. And if
Yes.
you haven't checked out
Sure,
December
y'all do.
DeMarco's channel, go check it out. And his book, I was super excited to hear about that. So.
Oh yeah. You got a
Kira,
book.
Space Chick, YL.
I know. It's always fun
Ladybug.
listening to you.
Yeah.
I listen. I'm like, what's this dude have to say today?
Bullish.
You be rocking out.
Bullish.
So smart.
I'll be in his name. Bullish. Let's go.
Super bullish.
Let's go. All right, guys. Until
All right, y'all.
wait a minute. Guess who's coming next Thursday?
Cool.
Uh,
Batoshi.
I wouldn't even make that announcement. Pull up, Batoshi. Pull up. No, Ian Heinrich will be here next Thursday.
Hey,
Awesome.
What's up, man? Salute to the vote. Yeah.
Let's go, guys.
all right, appreciate y'all.
Make sure y'all
All right.
subscribe, rock with everybody, man. Salute, appreciate all y'all, man. Make sure y'all tap in because we will be back on her crypto lounge again, so you don't want to miss it. Turn those notifications on for her as well, y'all.
Hey,
Yeah.
see you again.
Bye, guys.
All right, y'all. We out.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.